Hey, now we're going to talk about the Jester. So, Jester is an archetype that uses humor and play to shift people. Obviously, if you ever work with me, you know I love the Jester archetype. It is very interesting to me. Again, you're never one of these archetypes. You can blend the king with the Jester, right? You can blend the wizard with the Jester. There's funny wizards or funny magicians, and you can blend the queen with all of them. So this is all things you can tap into, and you're a blend of them all. You're not just one. And maybe you are one for a moment, but then you're another one, another one, another one. Again, it's just a way of understanding things. It's not black and white. So Jester obviously uses humor to move through things. It tends to be someone that affects society through humor and understanding. If you think of Bill Hicks, George Carlin, comedians, they're very Jester-like, but they usually make points through their comedy. They're making fun of things to have a better understanding of the things. People that make fun of spirituality do this. Clowns do this. It's a way of understanding life from a state of humor, of state of pointing out what's already happening. So by making fun of things or by teasing, we can move people in a certain direction. So the rule of a Jester that I love is you never use your humor to hurt someone, and you only use it to uplift them. So your intention is really important. Obviously, you can't always be perfect, but the idea is to uplift someone. And one thing you can do in your life is if you use humor, you can use humor to make someone laugh and then give them advice afterwards or give them what they need. And it's a really good way of breaking someone down. They become more relaxed, right, with humor. They become more able to hear what you have to say. So a lot of salespeople use humor. A lot of people that are, say, a diplomat will use humor. They want to be persuasive because it's a way of shifting things. And it's a way of pointing things out, right? It builds awareness. So say you're going to a spiritual retreat, right? And everyone's wearing the same clothes and everyone's standing like this, and you kind of make fun of it. You're like, everyone's the same, even though they're supposed to be different, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all just, manifesting reality and praying and doing affirmations and doing all these things. And, maybe you notice that, and you make fun of it to you, and then you notice that you don't want to be just like them. You want to be your unique self, right? Then you can be unique, or you can make fun of yourself, right? Like, oh my God, like I say I'm going to do stuff and I never do. It's hilarious. I'm like every other human. And by saying that, you become aware that you need to be more on top of things, right? So by using this Jester-like energy, and I do the hand motions because it shows kind of like what they're like, you're throwing things off a little bit. You're just moving energy over really fast by pointing out something. And you want to use surprise and timing. So Jester is all about timing and surprise. I know the magician is too, but the Jester more like is the one that sneaks up in you and says something out of nowhere, right? It's the person that was quiet the whole time and all of a sudden has something to say and says something really profound. That's very Jester energy. You're I won't say manipulative, but you're really good at shifting a space or an energy. You can go into a place that's down and sad, and you can be happy. And when someone's sad and you come in and you need to listen, you listen. You know what to be in the moment. You're very chameleon-like. And this is a really, really powerful tool to have in your tool belt. And just to have for yourself, because you want to create joy, right? Like life's funny. Like you see patterns in your life, laugh at them, just notice them. And the one thing that Jesters do is they point out the obvious that people aren't willing to see. They say what people are thinking, and they're never in denial. And the thing about being in comedy or being a Jester is you have to look at things and you have to see them. You have to be perceptive. And that's really the key, is to perceive a situation and know how to interact with that situation. And if you know that with yourself and you know that in life, it's really easy to walk into a place or walk into a space and know exactly what to be. Like sometimes you're just going to be quiet. Sometimes you're going to be fun and playful. Sometimes you're going to be doing videos. Sometimes you're not. And it's like, and I'm showing you behind, like the Jester's like that, but this is behind the scenes, what they're thinking. They're really seeing and perceiving and knowing what to be, and they're usually very intuitive. So magicians are obviously intuitive, kings and queens, more responsible, more intellect, but the Jester is very intuitive. And usually it's because they have a big, gigantic tool belt of skills and things, and they're going to pull out whatever they need in the moment. And if you ever been, with me in a session, like, that's how it works. It's like, I'm pulling this out. It's like never the same. And it's because I have that archetype integrated in my system. Moving into the king archetype, but coming out of the Jester archetype. and having all of it together, because I want to be a full integrated being. And that's what we're doing. This is the archetypes helping you do. They help you integrate parts of yourself and they make you aware of them, because what we're doing is integrating our soul's personality into our bodies. And by learning about these archetypes, we can integrate all of our parts, because we want to become a full being that's fully integrated and connected from the mind to the heart to the body. All the chakra, everything is connected and flowing. And by understanding ourselves, and we never fully understand ourselves, it's always a process. These archetypes give us something to look at, and it's really fun, and it's a really great way to learn about ourselves. So look at yourself, kind of make fun of yourself, write about yourself, make yourself a character. So the idea is, what character are you? And by understanding what character you are, you can move forward and create your reality much better. If you know you're more of a jester, or if you know you're more of a magician, if you know you're more of a king, like if you know that, then you can interact with your reality with more confidence. The more you know yourself and your strengths and your weaknesses, focus on those strengths and use them. And that's why we're doing this. So see you in the next video.